Okay, why is this? Oh, that sort of worked. I wanted it to be here. Let's see here. Why can I not copy the transform anymore? Why is OBS so fucking stupid? Hello and welcome. I'm trying to get shit set up still, because no real plan tonight, and I'm using a laptop which I normally don't use yet, but we will be using this laptop more. Just trying to get OBS to behave, as well as VC-Face or Naruto, either one of them, need them to behave as well, which they're not doing tonight, unfortunately. Paste transform. There we go. That's supposed to go way the hell under here. It's supposed to go inside the TV window. There we go, except it's way too big for whatever reason. I don't know, we'll figure it out here in a second. And why is Steam not opening Naruto? No, hold on, exit Steam. I want to relaunch Steam. But yeah, you guys can already kind of see how messy this build area is. Last time we showed this build area, we were putting together this girl here, and I'll bring up to the camera. As you can see here, we built her little firearm there, and I talked about how to make sure that your little figures were maintaining trigger discipline and whatnot. We're going to be building a lot more waifus on stream soon. Yeah, because I haven't actually cleaned up the area since that last stream, it is quite a mess up here. Additionally, I actually need to clear out this whole side that you probably can't see right now, but where this whole big old box of figure stuff is, that needs to be moved and cleared out, because I finally was able to order the 3D printer. Actually, my boyfriend got it for me as a Christmas gift. So we're going to be putting that on this desk here. We're going to have a camera pointed at it, which I'll show in a second here. Okay, now that Steam is launched properly, please launch Naruto so I can have my model on screen. What do you mean error? You're logged in on another computer. Sure. Fucking do whatever we need to do. Is it gonna launch now? Not launch? Is it launching? Can I have my model, please? Thank you. Okay. Okay, looks like it's working. Somewhat. This is annoying. That's loading a bunch of plugins and stuff. So this is Naruto. This is what I use for my models. Has really good rendering in my opinion, and I like a lot of the features that it has, with being able to program your own nodes to do stuff. And as a long-time programmer, being able to program stuff is a huge help. Why is the frame rate so damn choppy is the real question. Because it shouldn't be this choppy. And now it broke. Yeah, encoding. How the fuck is the encoding overloaded. This laptop has a 3080 in it, so it shouldn't be overloading. Bork. That's all I can say is that it seems to have borked. So yeah, Naruto itself is just like completely borked. Which is weird because we tested all of the settings last time and we didn't have any issues with our settings last time. So it's only tonight for the reason that it's having issues. I'm gonna keep moving stuff out of the way real quick. Need to go back into here. Yeah, just toss that right there for now. Come on. Alright, since that's not working, I'm just gonna do this in the meantime. I'll switch over to live camera view, and hopefully at some point it will start responding again, and it'll work, and it'll be great. Or not. But anyways, let me go ahead and move the camera down. So I'm going to bring the camera in closer. I'll probably about here tonight. I want to get a good view of the area it's going to be in for a while. Go ahead and tighten this up and tighten this part up as well. Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting this arm doesn't fully tighten. Stupid. Alright. Hopefully it's good enough. I mean, it's gonna keep trying to raise itself up right now for whatever reason. But hey, you know, here we go. This is the area we're working in tonight, and some stuff to be shown. Okay, so I'm trying to take this thing back apart. I need to also put like a third hand tool here, or you know, make my own. I'm gonna get some stuff out of the way. I have here a drawing tablet. It's one that I use pretty often. I use it for like Osu, I use it for drawing, doing touch-ups in Photoshop. Sometimes I'll use it with Blender, not very often though. But I have a stylus for it, and the stylus stopped working, so I've been trying to kind of repair this thing. I don't know if we're going to be able to repair it or not. I've actually got it to only somewhat work. The problem is I do need to install the drivers for it, which are not currently installed. We'll go ahead and grab them. Actually, are they installed? vrooom tablet driver. It might actually be installed. Let's see here. I see ZenSlab. I don't see Huion set up. So yeah, we're gonna download that real quick. Pen tablet. I have a bunch. Inspire, I guess. I'll go H640p because that's that specific one right there. Download that. And if I could get everything to work the way I wanted to, we'll have a little display of a window up on screen here in the view. But essentially, the tablet's no longer working with this pen. and I'm trying to figure it out. An old version of the driver is detected. Okay, I didn't realize I already had it. I thought I didn't. Yes, uninstall. Okay. Oh, and I just realized too, we actually forgot to post we are live. I am so dumb. Can Twitter work with GIFs? You know, eto. https://twitch.tv/chiyu Yukina. And I suppose Discord can use the update as well. Because again, I'm just stupid at times. But I think we kind of quite knew that I am quite a dunce. So dumb, I forgot to post that we're live. I'm at, and then at do. Did I spell that correctly? Why is that not working? HTTP. Oh, fucking hell. That means that tweet didn't even work. Oops. Okay, if I can, you know, get shit working, we'll get around to stuff. Let's see here. Alright, that should be working now. The Huion tablet drivers are installed. And let's see if we can get our VTuber model up and running. It's telling me that Rubido is still running, which I know for a fact it's not, but big echo? Why is it echoing? Oh shit. Okay, is this better? I did not realize that it was echoing so damn much. Did I fix it? Did I fix the echo? Hopefully. Yeah, it's really super scuffed. Oh, now it's super quiet. Testing? What do you mean PC restart required? Bullshit. Sorry, I'm yelling at the computer because the computer is doing stupid crap. It's telling me I need to restart my computer entirely in order to install the drivers for tonight's project. Background music is louder. Okay. Yeah, again, it's all scuff on the laptop right now, so I'm trying to get the settings all, like, properly set up. Especially because we'll be using this laptop a lot more going forward. So, kind of important that I get stuff working. We're going to be using this more often soon. Naruto still won't launch. Why is it not launching? And it's so annoying because the laptop worked perfectly fine last week or a couple weeks ago. Installation completed. Yeah, I know the installation is completed. Device disconnected. Yeah, the device is disconnected because I don't have enough USB ports right now. Give me a second. I just lost audio in my ears. I'm gonna toss this cable off to the side. Oh yeah, so tonight's project is possibly get this thing to work. Gonna screen now. Okay. My model is like completely broken neck at the moment. So we'll see what we can do about that. Okay, that's a let's see here, channel switcher. I didn't install anything before starting to stream. I also have Blender installing right now because I don't have Blender on the laptop, and we actually need Blender on the laptop. So none of that is currently installed. But let's see here. What camera is this even using? Okay, it's using the correct camera. Calibrate? Did it? Yeah, well, it's through Streamlabs, so... And I'm also using Restream.io at the moment, so it's going through Restream, and then the chat is handled by Streamlabs. So there's like a lot of like in-betweens. Okay, and you know what? I'm just gonna leave it with this current model. This model's out of date, but we're gonna leave it with the current model because it's a lot of effort. Actually, you know what? Here, let's do this. Open characters folder. And Shiyu, other OCs. I need to change that too, because the current model is no longer a separate OC. The current model has replaced the original OC. So that's a thing. Oh, come on, why is it so stupid? Okay, let's see here. Casual fur. Alright, hopefully it's not too broken. But, here we are. Got a bunch of lights on. We're gonna turn on this extra light right here in a moment, too. But anyways, as I was saying, have this tablet here, and it's not working. We need it to work. So, we're gonna see what we can do about getting it to work. Let me go ahead and reset the transform on here. And then bring this up to the top. Yay! Okay. So here's the little pressure test thing. I might crop this in. So let's see about doing that. Let's go ahead and crop it in. So here's our little pressure testing, and you'll notice here. Oh, actually, where's it even showing up at on the laptop? Actually, okay, here it is. So I have it open. I'm trying to put it in a sensible spot, and there's nothing right now because there's no nub. And if I put the nub in here, I can get it to fit. Actually, the nub just fell all the way in there. So, that's a thing too. But the goal is to kind of fix it, and the reason for that is I have another pen here, and this other pen, it works wonderfully. But it's not the one that came with this tablet, it's from a different tablet, and I was trying to get this one to work, because, you know, we needed to get it to work. So, that's kind of like, the project for tonight, I suppose, is we're attempting to take this apart, figure out what we can do to fix it. And I had taken it apart earlier, and now I'm struggling to get it apart. We might also build some model kits or something, I don't know. To be honest, I'm probably just gonna ramble for like a couple hours and then call it a night. Because I got a lot of stuff going on right now. Come on. I'm out. And yeah, like I said, I had this out earlier. It's just been very annoying about coming out right now. And I think I was using these pliers here to pull it out. I'm trying to remember. Yep, there we go. Okay, so here's what our little pen tablet looks like on the inside, as you can see. And oh yeah, another thing too, the autofocus is still, you know, it's autofocusy right now. I have actually been writing a program that will allow me to use this to control it. I've ran into some issues in writing that program and that it doesn't quite play nicely with OBS Studio yet, but hopefully soon I'll have that figured out and we'll have manual focus through this remote. But right now it's autofocusy, so it's not the best of focus. I do apologize for that. Doing what I can to work on that. But we have here, this is the inside of tablet, and like I said, it doesn't quite work. Oh, I just kind of screwed up a bunch of stuff there. That's gonna move that back. Doesn't quite work the way it's supposed to. So yeah, and you can see here it does pick up that there is pressure. The problem is it's actually now it's working quite nicely. Maybe not nicely, but it's somewhat working. But it doesn't work when it's you know, when it's put back into the housing. So, and I actually have to push down quite harshly on it in order for it to even work. And this was the result of like taking it apart. So I took it apart all the way earlier, and I might end up, I don't know, maybe needing to do a whole new housing or something for it. We'll figure that out. I just moved something around on the screen. I have no clue what just got highlighted and moved, but something's got highlighted and moved. Oh, it's probably Twitch chat, maybe? Yeah, maybe the Twitch chat got moved. I don't know. It's kind of interesting though, because it'll actually click and stuff. It's clicking right now without any nub attached. So it's a weird little device on the inside. But it's kind of interesting how this thing works. So I wish I could bring this camera in a little bit closer. We will be getting another camera set up at some point soon, which is this little guy here. So soon we'll have additional camera angles once my 3D printer arrives, because like I said, it has already been ordered. It is shipped and on the way. Once it arrives, we'll probably make a housing for this little guy here. But this is a camera that we're going to be using. It does not have a housing. I've thought about doing some temporary solutions for how we can maybe mount it somewhere. This will give us, you know, better angles of sorts. Yeah, I have, like I said, I've thought about doing a temporary solution where basically going to take this apart. And it's the fun thing about doing everything yourself. When you do it yourself stuff, when you make your own shit, or you find ways to utilize stuff. One, it's just a fun thing to do because I don't know, I enjoy the challenge, I enjoy the puzzle of trying to make stuff work, and two, I get to find different ways of using stuff that wasn't quite how it was intended to be used. So what I'm going to do for now is slide this into here, and I'm going to plug this back in very carefully. Ow! Without hurting yourself. Well, I guess without hurting myself. We're gonna get it slid in there. That's connected. This part then slaps back on top. And this is usually something that you would be using with like a Raspberry Pi. I just realized my model got like thrown way the hell up here again. Throw me back down here, please. Stay. In fact, let's lock you in place. There we go. Model's locked in place now. This is obviously, it's a very temporary solution for not having housing for this thing. But yeah, this is something you'd use it with like a Raspberry Pi, or an Arduino, and that way you can add like a camera to your projects. It does have lights on here, which is really nifty. I don't know if I can. Yeah, I don't have enough USB ports to plug it in. If I had extra USB ports, I would plug it in, but I don't have enough USB ports, unfortunately. Unless I sacrifice the tablet, I guess. I can sacrifice the tablet in order to get the camera working. I'm scared to just plug it into like a power-only port is the thing, because like I have a USB hub here that's power only, and I'm scared to like plug this thing into a power only USB port, because I don't know if it'll work or not, and I don't want to screw up the circuits. But yeah, we're gonna, once the printer arrives, we'll make a little housing for this thing, and it's gonna be installed permanently in a spot where we can have a view of the printer on screen whenever we're over here at the workbench. Yeah, like I said, tonight's project is get this little thing here to work. I was just trying to get like a better angle for you guys, but I don't have enough USB ports to utilize this for a better angle yet, and once I figure that out, I'll probably go on Amazon. I'll buy like an Anchor, whatever you want to call them. I'll buy one of their like USB hubs or something. I'm sure they have a good one. As long as I can get one that has like at least seven ports, I think we'll be fine. Yeah, at least a 7-port USB hub. It's probably what I need to do, because what's currently plugged in is a 3-port, and 3 ports isn't enough, as we're learning. Let's go ahead and we'll turn this light here on. Okay, and let's see if we can bring the camera. I don't think we can bring the camera down any lower. But yeah, the configured device, whatever. Yeah, I don't think I could bring this camera down any lower unless I put it on the lower arm, which might be an option. I guess that could be an option. It's not ideal though. Let's see here. How low can we bring this thing down? Well, it's going to keep going up. This is probably as low as this arm is gonna go. Yeah, and then I'll just have to adjust this part of the arm. Yeah, we're not gonna get any like lower than this. Darn. Soon we'll have a proper setup over here in this corner. I'm actually gonna be buying extra cameras soon for this whole area, because this camera has to keep moving from my desk over to here. which is a pain in the ass to deal with, because when I have Zoom meetings, I have to remember to take the camera from here and bring it over there, and vice versa. But let me show you how this little thing works. So, this is the inside of my tablet pen that we have determined doesn't quite work. And you have your little buttons here, 2 buttons there. And the way it works is it gets its power. It's kind of similarly to Qi charging, is how it gets its power. It has this like little coil here. But inside here is an actual this is just the housing. This great part's just the housing for the nub. And again, I'm not sure why it is that like it doesn't get the pressure properly. First off, it wasn't even accepting nubs for a good while. I was having trouble where it wasn't even accepting the nubs. But see, well now it's going off. I'm not even touching the tablet, and it's just going off. So it thinks that it's being used when it's not. And so there's gonna be a lot of adjustment to try to figure out, like, you know, how do we fix that? That's what I'm trying to fix tonight. And then if we can get it all working, I'll be able to toss it all back together and hopefully save myself some money on getting an extra pen. Like I said, I already have one, but this is from a completely different tablet. And while this one does technically work, it's not what came with the tablet, you know? But the way I got this open earlier, which was a total pain in the ass to do, the way I got this open earlier is it has this coil on here, and you have to be very careful to like not twist the coil too much because you don't want those cables to break. So what I did is I very carefully turned it all the way that I could turn it, you know. Oh, actually, it's not even turning the whole thing anymore. Oh no. Maybe I fucked it up. Okay. And once I got it like on the other side here, I put some pressure on it, and then you can rotate the coil back without rotating the whole assembly. So I had to keep doing that. And then grabbing the assembly, rotating the whole thing. If I had my soldering iron, it wouldn't be as much of an issue because we can just resolder those cables on. But my soldering iron is probably out in the garage. I have no clue where it's actually at right now. It's probably in the garage. I'll just buy a new one. I'm using the building of this workspace as kind of like an excuse to replace old tools. That way it's kind of like basically an excuse to go, hey, this shit that I have in the garage is old. Why don't I just toss it and get brand new stuff? Because, you know, technology and stuff gets better, or maybe there's just better tools. I've seen some like soldering iron stuff now that has like the vacuum style soldering or desoldering like as part of it, and that's kind of what I want. I always had stuff for soldering. I didn't ever have stuff for desoldering safely. So yeah, it's kind of, this whole work area is a good excuse of mine to get more stuff for building and crafting and whatnot. Yeah, this is such a long process to get this thing open, just to show you all what's inside of it. Because like I said, you have to keep twisting it without twisting that cable too much. Because if you twist that wire too much, that wire will snap. And if it snaps, then this whole thing stops working entirely. And I'm trying to keep this functional and just figure out what can I do about the pressure problem that it's having. So I was going to keep doing this, where I'm going to carefully unscrew it, and then putting pressure on it to make sure that it doesn't rotate the whole thing, and then bring the coil back and keep doing that until we get this housing off. And I think we might be good here in a second. It feels like we might be. There we go. Yep, we're good. Okay. Oh, so what just dropped out of there? Well, that's a great question. There's actually a couple parts here that just dropped out, or that need to drop out. And this might actually be the cause of the issue with the pressure. I think I put this thing back in wrong. The stupid autofocus is not focusing on this tiny little part here. Come on, camera. I know you can focus. I know you can. Yep. Let's see here. Video capture device, transform, center the screen. Is it gonna focus on this at all? Or is the camera gonna be stupid? The camera's being stupid. This is a little like rubber stopper. I was hoping that the camera would show it. But it's like a little rubber stopper, and it has a spring attached to it. I think I probably put the spring on backwards earlier when I was first attempting to figure out what was wrong with this thing. Push this thing back out, and this well, that could be a problem. As always, I am a total dumbass. I almost lost the spring, and that would have been absolutely horrible had I lost the spring fully. Yeah, that would have been terrible. I'm gonna put this stopper back on, or put the spring back onto it, but it needs to go the other direction, I think. These little parts are hard to mess with, and this is why I need to get a third hand tool. I had a third hand tool. It was very helpful to have a third hand tool for a lot of my projects that I was working on, and that thing broke. So that thing like broke. I don't know what caused it to break, but it was really bad. Anyways, this here, what this little tube here is, this is the actual part that holds the nub in place, and I thought that these had a little fin on the inside, and it either the fin on here broke, or it was never there. But if you look at some of the nubs or nibs for your tablets, you can't really see it very well because the camera doesn't want to focus, which is all the more reason for why I need to get that program up and running to be able to manually focus the camera, because it doesn't want to focus on my hands very well. Yeah, it doesn't like to focus. There's a little like hole in there, so I was under the impression that they had a fin, and that fin would have to like hook onto the nub. But what I've come to realize is that mine either never had one in the first place, or it broke off. But these would pretty much just hold in with friction, I guess, is what it's going to have to do. If I tilt it over, the nub does drop out, so that's why I'm assuming that it's supposed to have a little fin in there, and it just doesn't. So that's something I'll have to... And I can't find this piece anywhere. I've been searching on Google, trying to find this little tube, And unfortunately, we don't have that good of a right to repair out here, at least not in the US. We don't have a good right to repair. And so, being able to find little tiny parts like this to replace it within this housing is not exactly easy. Because I haven't found it yet. And I thought this was plastic. But I've been... According to Google, this is not plastic, it is metal. I still think it is plastic looking at it. It has a little mark on the back, which you can't see because the camera's not focusing. You know what? Let me try something. Let's try this. Python, PowerShell. Let's deactivate this camera real quick. I'm gonna run my Python script. Yes, the script that allows me to control the focus is written in Python. And I also just realized that because I'm out of USB slots, I'm not sure if we'll be able to plug this thing in actually. That's a great question. Will we be able to? Oh wait, it uses USB-C. I think we got this. We can plug it in. But let's hopefully this grabs the camera that it needs to grab. And I'm going to find a USB-C to C cable real quick. I know I have one around here. There was a USB-C to C plugged into the laptop a moment ago. And where the fuck did I put it? I think I unplugged it and I tossed it off to the side. Alright, anyways, let's do this. Let's add a new window capture. Window capture. New, yep, Python. Go. Transform. Put to screen. Put it under BTS. And give me 1 second to go grab that USB-C cable. Alright, we get to debug my crappy Python live. We get to see if my Python script is functional or non-functional. And if it is functional, then great. The only thing is, I don't think it's capturing... I think a problem it's having is it's not capturing the webcam at the full resolution of 1920 by 1080. I believe it's actually capturing it at like 480p now. So that's an issue I've been having with the Python script, is I haven't been able to get it to properly function in terms of the resolution of the camera. But assuming that this is working the way it's supposed to, let's see here. Where the... Okay, Sense Lab. Quick keys. Yeah, there's this head to scroll. Did I have it as just being... Okay, it was just that. Okay. Let's see here. We want to go this direction for focus, I guess, further. So that should be that one. Should be this one. And let's set our orientation, 90 degrees. Okay. So if this works, we'll be able to adjust our focus here. And yeah, it looks like it does seem to work. Okay. And if I go this direction, we are now out of focus. I might need to increase the steps, so that way it goes a little bit faster, because right now the steps are very, very low. Yeah, so now we're out of focus, and if I go this direction, we are now in focus. It's actually inverted from the way I wanted it to be, so we're gonna have to fuck with that a bit. But yeah, like I said, I'm just using a Python script. I might open source it. I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I used to release a lot of my scripts and stuff open source. I haven't done that in a very long time for a variety of reasons. I'm very in favor of open source stuff. I think most things, not everything, but most things should be open source, and that's why I like to used to release a lot of stuff open source. But at the same time, there are things I like to kind of keep to myself, you know. But with this, we can manually change the focus of this camera. I just gotta figure out the issue of the camera resolution and making it work properly the way I want it to work. But let me go ahead and clear these. So this one should actually be that way. And then let's go ahead and apply that. Yeah, so now, like I said, if I go this direction, it should be defocusing, and it is. But yeah, let me adjust the steps on here. So I guess I'll bring up the capture of that back onto screen. Where is Notepad++? Because that's where I was typing the code in. Notepad++. Okay, so we have Notepad++, and yeah, I know what, I'll go ahead and get a capture of Notepad++ on screen. Transform, reset transform. Oh, duh. Okay, here we go. Here's the Python code. I'm going to shrink this down, make it a little bit easier to read, hopefully. Well, not easier to read, but it's going to show everything better. We'll toss it over here to the side for now. So this is the Python code. It uses OpenCV, which is mostly used for AI stuff, actually. OpenCV is a Python library. The CV stands for computer vision, and like I said, it's primarily a thing used for doing AI stuff. But it's also used in like robotics using like a Raspberry Pi. You can use it for computer vision with a Raspberry Pi. You can use it to capture imagery on your desktop as well. You can do desktop captures with it and all kinds of neat stuff. I'm going to just increase these steps a bit. So right now we're going by a value of 1. Let's make this steps of 5. I think doing steps of 5 is probably going to be the ideal solution here. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And let's go ahead and rerun the script. And as you can see here, there's a lot more to the script than just that. But that's the main part. The main part here is where it's getting the actual inputs for it. Oh, and let's see here. Come on, grab. It does. It takes a little bit of time for it to actually pull up the webcam for whatever reason. There we go. So the webcam feed is pulled up. And we can now check to see if this is working. So if this worked, then this will be going. What do you mean USB device malfunctioned? What USB device malfunctioned? Come on. It might be this exact device that malfunctioned just now. I'm not really sure, because now it's not getting the input like it's supposed to. Come on. Yeah, let me unplug this thing. I'll plug it back in. There we go. Okay, so going to the right should put us in focus. There we go, we're now in focus. Going to the left is going to defocus us. So we're now out of focus. Going to the right will put us back in focus. I would call this a success, minus the fact that I did tell it here. I told it that it should capture at 1280 by 720, 60 FPS. And like I said, I don't think that it is actually capturing at that because it should be taking up a bigger space on my screen than what it is. So it's something I still need to figure out and debug. I might be applying the parameters incorrectly. I also need to figure out what's causing the little flicker on the side. But I'm going to call this a success because now when I want to show you guys parts up close, let's go ahead and hide this. But now when I want to show you guys parts up close, we can go ahead and do this, where we can adjust our focal plane here to try to get it into focus, or not. For the reason the global hook is not being global. Or no, it is. It's working. It's working. I'm just dumb. But now when I'm trying to like show you guys stuff as we're building, whether it's building Gundams or building model kits, putting together waifus, or we're working on an electronics project of some sort, we can now adjust our focus so we can get stuff in view. The hard part is finding the right focus for it. Maybe steps of 5 wasn't like the solution, but yeah, we can adjust our focal plane now through this. I think once I get it working a little bit better, then maybe then I'll go ahead and like throw this on GitHub or something. Maybe not GitHub, but I'll find some sort of place to host the code at. That way other people can utilize it. And you don't need this fancy remote here for it. This fancy remote's not a requirement. I just like it because it's been very helpful for me. As you can see here, it's got all these different buttons here, and it has different profiles, so you can set it to do different things. You can do like 4 profiles. It's basically kind of like a Stream Deck, but instead of getting graphical buttons, you get these little hard tactile buttons. Yeah. And let's go ahead and tell us to redo. So you get these little tactile buttons, and then you can have this little dial here, which can do different things. If you press this little button in the center, it will change what that button does, or what the dial does. So again, it's super helpful, which is why I use it, and why I want to use it for being able to adjust our focus, because we can easily do that with this dial here. So yeah, I think live debugging was successful, except I still need to figure out why the resolution of the camera doesn't capture properly. So we'll figure that out, and maybe by open sourcing it, then maybe people can help figure out what is the cause of it. But yeah, now we have manual control here. I'm just gonna have to, again, I need a bigger USB hub. My USB hub is only 3 ports. 3 ports isn't enough. Clearly, we need more USB ports. Technically this thing is wireless, but you have to plug in a dongle, so you're still taking up a USB port even with a dongle for it. But this is a wireless remote also, and you can change the orientation however you want. But I think this has been quite a success. I might actually adjust, let's adjust this a little bit further because I feel like it still takes too long to go in and out of focus. So let's try steps of 10. Let's go ahead and bring this back up on screen. And I'm going to scroll back up. Right now, like I said, we have steps of 5. Let's do steps of 10 here. Control S. And let's kill the Python script. And then we'll run the Python script again. Now that is one thing too that is a little bit annoying is if I'm not going to be using this script, every time we do a stream, I'm going to have to fuck with Python or get... I guess I can do a keyboard shortcut to it, I suppose. Maybe not a keyboard shortcut, but like an icon shortcut. Something along that nature. Some sort of shortcut to it. But it's going to be annoying because I can't just go, hey OBS, use this camera, and let OBS control the camera and whatnot. I have to launch the Python script in order to control the camera. But let's see here now. I feel like this, yeah, this now is way faster to go through all the different focuses. So we don't have to spend a whole lot of time focusing it now. So let's go ahead and hide that again. Yeah, if you guys are interested in this script, definitely let me know. I'm always down to like help people come up with solutions to do things, whether it's doing something in VRooom, doing something in Blender, doing something with manual crafting of sorts, or writing some sort of code that does something nice and functional. Yeah. Okay. So now that's out of the way though, we now have our little focus control here. So we can work on stuff. Yeah, as I was trying to show, this little guy here has this tube right here. And now that we can control the focus, we can probably make this a little bit easier to see here. Oh yeah, being able to manually adjust this focus is so nice. Why don't webcams have a manual focus option? Like, I have owned a few webcams in the past where they had manual focus, but you had to physically turn the lens of the webcam, which sounds cool at first, especially if you're used to using like cameras like this. You know, it sounds neat being able to grab your webcam and adjust your focus like this, but then it's such an annoyance when you're trying to do stuff like building a model kit or something, and now you have to go put your hand up to the camera and twist it and hope you get it right. Why don't webcams have an actual like manual focus control through software? It's so annoying because like the camera that's up here right now, it's the Razer Kiyo Pro, and you have two options for the focus. There is a responsive focus, and there's a more what is it? There's a responsive focus and passive focus, and those are your two options. You don't get a manual focus option with the Razer Kiyo Pro in Razer Synapse. You have to just rely on the autofocus and the two different modes of autofocus, which have no explanation for what it is that they do really, what makes them different. Why do webcams not have a manual focus option? I have no clue. because having a manual focus capability is so amazing. Being able to just go, well, I want to find my focal plane, and I mean, you can kind of see it. Can't really see inside it right now. I mean, it's still not the clearest, obviously. Yeah, but it's so much better though, being able to adjust this focal plane by hand. Let's see if I can get this in focus here. And I might need to adjust the steps a bit more, who knows. But yeah, being able to manually focus is such an amazing thing. But like I was saying, inside that little tube there, inside this little tube is where the nub goes. And then this actually pushes on a spring, which is this little guy here. You probably can't see it very well, but there's a tiny little spring that it is supposed to push on, and that spring kind of determines your pressure in a way. It has like a little optical sensor in here, or it might be like a magnetic sensor, but it's like a little magnetic sensor in there that determines, based on like the distance of this tube, what your pressure sensitivity is at. So like I said, I'm assuming when I put this together earlier that I didn't put the spring on properly, because it had all came apart on me, and I was trying to fix that. It's gonna be annoying. Where does it go this way? I don't think it goes that way. No, it's supposed to go the other way. Oh, I just noticed too, this little rubber stopper is actually ripped. That could be a problem too, I suppose. I don't know, maybe it goes this direction. It might. I guess that kind of makes sense. Not really. I don't know. I don't know the proper direction it's supposed to go in. But it sits in there. And then, like I said, this little tube would push up against that. Yeah, no, it does go the other direction. It does. Okay, got a little plunger. Plunger's in there. Spring is on top of the plunger. Take our nub out. Let's go ahead and pop this thing back in. And what I think I'm gonna do to kind of help fix this in the future is I'm probably gonna cut a little slit into the actual like body of the stylus. So now we get the fun part of putting this whole thing back together, and I've kind of found that this little plastic housing kind of determines like the sensitivity as well, in a way. So if we slide our nub into there, it's actually this little one. Then this little plastic housing helps to kind of like adjust where that pressure is. So if we grab our tablet again, and let's go ahead and pull the software for that back up. Here it is. Window capture 2 should go to Huion tablet. Where's that? Huion tablet. So assuming I didn't break this entirely. Wait, or did I unplug it? No, I didn't unplug it. It's not unplugged. Yeah, of course it's not unplugged. Come on. Connect. Okay. Maybe I did break this. Without realizing it. Hopefully not. Just going to try my best to get this thing attached on here. Digital pen, pressure test. Hey! Okay, so we got a little click out of it. We need more pressure though. So since we need more pressure, we're just going to keep adjusting this and we'll see where we can bring it to. But the problem is okay, well now we're getting like clicks out of it at least. You see now there's like too much pressure on it, so I gotta dial it back a little bit. I feel like this nub is still like falling out. The nub doesn't want to stay in place is like the main issue that I'm having with it. So I tried using these bigger nubs. But the bigger nubs also fall out. I don't know. I will figure it out. I'll probably fuck around with it more another time. Because I don't want to bore you guys too much with this. So I say we switch gears and we actually build something on here. So I'm going to put this off to the side. And put it along next to a bunch of other stuff that I have laying up here. Gonna get these nubs out of the way. Like I said, no real plan for tonight. Tonight is just been a night of debugging a lot of shit, I guess. I'm gonna unplug. Testing? Testing? Okay, that's working again. I accidentally unplugged the microphone on accident. Yeah, so let's actually build something. Here we go. We'll do that tonight. I still need to order new sanding sticks, because again, these are a bunch of old sanding sticks. I need to order some new ones soon. But we'll do what we were doing last week, and let's see here. We'll build one of these. And the reason for building one of these is because I do need to get to sleep soon. And I need to eat soon. So, we'll go through some of these. These are really nifty kits. And, what else we got? Oh, it's like an exoskeleton. This would be cool for us to do on a future build, with some stuff that I have planned. Probably when we get around to building this other kit that I don't want to grab right now because a bunch of other stuff sitting on top of it. Yeah, I guess we'll build one of these. We'll go with this thing. This machine gun. It's a little armory. These kits are amazing. They are extremely well detailed, like super detailed. And now we can better adjust our camera settings as we need. So we'll go ahead and toss this off to the side. Toss that over there. Actually, before I do that, let's do this. Python webcam. Can I double the size of this? Yeah, maybe. Okay, and then center to screen. Alright, we'll try to make this work, and like I said, I'm gonna keep debugging the the Python script that I'm doing, or that I wrote, and figure out the best way to get the resolution properly for the webcam. But I'm gonna go ahead and toss that off to the side. Now that we can finally adjust our focal plane a little bit here. Oh, actually, a little bit of a sweet spot. Like, right there, maybe, is like the sweet spot. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so these little armory kits are super well detailed. It's one of the things I love about them and why I keep buying them. And they have tons of them. Like, they even have like full shooting ranges. This is from one of the like shooting range sets made by Little Armory, for example. And I was planning on buying some of their full-on sets, but in about a week or so, we'll have our own 3D printer, and we'll be creating our own sets using the 3D printer rather than buying diorama sets, just because I think it'll be funner to model them in Blender myself and to print them out, and then we can paint them, because I have everything needed to paint sitting here as well. Okay, so there should be some instructions in here. The instructions are going to be in Japanese. And I'll toss it off to the side for now. Yeah, so we have our instructions here. Like I said, the instructions are in Japanese. So that is something to keep in mind if you're buying these. You don't really need to know Japanese in order to build them. You just mainly need to be able to look at the pictures and just understand, or also they do have on here, and I'll try to adjust the focus as best as I can. I also need to get glasses again. I need to start wearing my glasses again, because my vision's been kind of blurry lately, and I think that's just because of how much I'm sitting at the computer. I work as a web developer. I'm staring at the computer basically 24/7, and I'm not doing web development. I'm doing other stuff that basically has me looking at the computer, like I said, about 24/7. So I'm just always staring at the computer, and I think that's been affecting my vision lately. Full screen projector, windowed projector, that's what I want. And let's make this gigantic so I can actually see the output. There we go. Let's see here. Can we get our focus dialed in without having to figure out why the Python script's not capturing properly? I feel like right here is probably like, I don't know, the best focus I'm gonna get. I definitely gonna need to figure out why I can't get this webcam to capture at 80 by 720 or at 1920 by 1080. I keep trying different parameters for OpenCV for trying to get it to work, and it just doesn't work the way it's supposed to work, so I need to figure that out. But when you do get into model kit building, a lot of the time, and they'll have, and again, if I can get like the focus proper with the script, yeah, it's gonna need a lot of like debugging. You can see here though, I have like A14, A10. Those are part of these. You'll see here they have a little letter up in the corner, and then they have numbers. That's what those that's what that refers to. So we know here we're gonna need the runner A, and then we need A10 and A14, which are these little parts here. So I'm gonna grab our nifty little nippers here. These are God hand nippers. Really expensive. You don't need to buy God hand. I recommend just getting a generic pair or Tamiya pair for like $10. However, these do wear down a lot faster. But you just get in there and you cut the runner off. You want, when you're cutting out of the runner, you want to have the edge of your nipper away from the part that you're cutting out. That way, you don't end up ruining the part. Okay, so that's first one cut out. Cut out the second one now. Yeah, maybe I will release that script publicly, just so I can have someone else help me figure out what's going on with my focus, or with the resolution. Also, what just buzzed? This is what buzzed. Cell phone time. Okay. That's fine. Sorry. The partner was texting me, telling me that he has to skip our lunch call tonight. That's fine. I'm gonna be on here anyways. Yeah, I definitely need to... Or maybe I just need to get a better camera overall that has like a better focal distance. That's the best I can get the focus right now. I don't think I can get the focus any better than that at the moment. Yeah, I don't think I can get the focus any better than this right now. But once you have your parts cut out, you can then flip your nippers over, get in close to the part that needs to be have the little nub removed. You don't want to get like all the way up against that part, but get close enough to it, and then just go ahead and cut. We're gonna do some sanding here for this part for sure. That's gonna need quite a bit of sanding work. Some of these other spots are a little bit easier, like right here. That's a little bit easier of a spot. You just want to get right in there, and I like to leave a tiny little gap. You can't really see it because the resolution of the camera right now is not at its full resolution like it should be, but I'll flip the part over and try to demonstrate what I mean, and I'm going to put this little piece of paper a little bit closer. When you get in there, I try to leave a little bit of a gap. You can kind of see it, but again, my Python script's not fully functioning in terms of camera resolution. And then you're going to cut. Now, I cut a little bit too far away, just because I want to show that gap there. But, yeah, I like to leave just a tiny bit of a gap. It kind of helps when you're doing your finishing work to have that gap in there. Because if you get too close to the part, if you get too close to the part when you go and cut it, it can pinch the plastic, which gives you a even worse mark that you will struggle quite a bit to remove. So to avoid having any stress marks from pinching, just try to cut it a little bit off, put a tiny bit of a gap there. There you go. And again, I need to get new sanding sticks because sand sticks I have right now are old, but we'll put them to good use here in a moment. And make sure you're only cutting off the nubs that connected the part to the runner. You do not want to accidentally cut off a detail part. So just keep that in mind as well. Try to only cut off the parts that are connected to the runner and not the fine little detail parts. Let me grab one of the sanding devices that I have. This should be around here somewhere. There we go, we'll use these. Got microfiber cloths. I got all kinds of stuff in here, as you can see. Got an extra X-Acto knife. These are very helpful, and they're supposed to have a little rubber thing on them. But having these little tweezers helps so much too. What I'm looking for right now is these things. These are little diamond files. These are very coarse. So what I'm gonna do is because these other files of mine are getting old and dirty, I'm going to use one of these diamond files to do the initial sanding. We'll use this thinner one here. And these are very, very coarse, so you don't want to use them too much, but you can use them to shave off a lot of the material and then switch to a finer edge or finer grit here, like the 1000 grit, and do some like polishing work with these. So, and I actually probably could have cut this one a little bit better. I think I actually cut it a little bit too far off. But like I said, these are great because they can remove a lot of material in very tiny spaces. Sometimes when you're trying to like sand some of these stuff, you might not have the space needed to like use one of these files. I still think these are better overall. Like it would take this like a 320 grit one, and then I would use that to sand away the part that needs to be sanded. And then once I get it to where I want, I can then flip over and use like the 1000 grit to kind of, you know, give it a nice little polish. That helps to like remove any like imperfections that are in it. But yeah, I could have done a better job at cutting this particular spot. And I suppose like right here, it probably doesn't matter too much. Where it's at. Let's see here. Yeah, because I mean, that's just the barrel. It's not going to really matter too much if it's perfect or not. I can still feel, though, that it's not that good. But yeah, for some of these spots, you might not have room to, like, get one of these in. Like, right here in the middle. Don't have the room. And that's where these, like, diamond files come in. Very handy. Or if you have, like, this is a much higher grit. This is, like, 1000 grit for this one. It is smaller, and this one can better get into there, but it's not small enough. So I am actually planning on getting some smaller sanding sticks that are higher grit going forward. I can't actually really see where the nub is. Okay, I found the nub. It's like right here. You can't see it because the camera resolution is not capturing properly, which is the fault of my script. Yeah. But using the files it helps to create like a nice seam, and that's kind of what we want, is to have like a nice seam. We have like another spot on the back right here, and I think there's a spot up here where we had to cut. Yeah, I can see where the nub is back here. That way, when you press these together, you're gonna have a nice like smooth seam versus having like little things sticking out where you press the two parts together. It's very time consuming, for sure, but the end result makes it worth it. And one of the things I want to try to do soon, again, I'm kind of waiting until I get my 3D printer to manufacture stuff, because I do have ways I can manufacture stuff already. But one of the things I did is I have this little motor here, and what I might do with this, and we'll probably build it on stream or something, but I'm gonna see if I can get like itty bitty little sandpaper belts and make like a miniature belt grinder, so that way we can just push a button and have the belt move on its own and just put the part up against it. I wouldn't really recommend doing that for these itty bitty little model kits, but for bigger stuff that we're going to be printing out, I think it'll work quite well to sand a lot of stuff. And it would be just a fun project to, build a little miniature belt sander. Or maybe we could do like a miniature lathe. That'd be kind of cool too. I like miniature stuff. I've always been like fascinated with making stuff tiny. Because to me, like, I don't know, it's just some things I look at it, I'm like, oh, it's so like tiny, it's adorable because of how small it is. And yeah, I don't know, I've always been like fascinated with like miniatures and stuff, so and I do use them sometimes in film and photography, which is actually what got me started on building miniatures. Specifically got me started on building these waifu kits is I was doing cosplay. I was doing a lot of cosplaying stuff, and then I started getting into film and photography, and because I wanted to, like, the way I saw it was that as a cosplayer, I figured it would help have more creative vision if I understood like photography myself. That way, when I'm going to a photo shoot with a photographer, I can be like, hey, why don't we try this angle? Or maybe try this lighting, see how that looks. And so it kind of started off where I went from cosplaying to buying a camera and starting to get into photography. And then I had realized that, I had a problem with posing. I didn't really know how to tell other people how to pose, and I was really bad at posing myself, so a lot of my early cosplay photos have just absolutely horrible posing. So then the solution was miniatures, and I started building these little waifu kits, and I started playing around with different poses using the waifu kits, and then that would give me an idea too of how to frame a photo. So I would like pose up the character, then I would grab a camera, this little point and shoot, for example, and I would try to figure out what camera angle I wanted using the miniature, and going from there. And that actually spiraled into a whole career in film and media, surprisingly. Not sure how that happened, but it did. But I also learned that these are very helpful when doing 3D animation in Blender, because I can get a base pose using these, get an idea for how the pose will look, get an idea for how I want to place the camera, and then I can translate that into Blender as well, which is very helpful. Yeah, I do use them a lot in like film and photography too now, because I don't know where it's at right now, but I have like model kits of cars. In fact, I actually have one. I don't know where it's at right now, but I have an exact replica of my actual car. Um, yeah, it's like those faceless models that artists use, exactly. And I used to have one of those. I used to have some of those actually. Um, I used to use those for drawing, but now I use these because I actually feel like these are a better reference for drawing, because at least for drawing anime style, because you get you know, proper fingers. You get, if you spend the money on them, you'll get actual clothing, and you get like, you know, the reference of how the face would look, the facial reference and whatnot. So I actually feel like these work out a lot better than just using a written figure for drawing too. And there's so many different kinds of kits. Like, you know, I have this little cute little cat. I mean, it's not really, well, it's sort of a cat. It does actually have a tail somewhere. I don't know where the tail fell off and went to, but you know, I can do like little chibis or something with these as reference. It's very helpful for that, and especially too because I can, you know, I can throw some of these down, and I can get a reference for, you know, how will this look in terms of lighting and whatnot. Very, very helpful tool to have at your disposal. It's just these are a lot more expensive than those faceless wooden dolls. A lot more expensive than the faceless wooden doll, and require a lot more effort to be able to use them. But that effort pays off in the end, I think. Oh, I started sanding this the wrong direction. Ooh. You want to make sure when you're sanding initially that you are sanding in one single direction if you can. Because if you start like going back and forth or going in different directions, you'll end up scuffing up the part more than solving it. And once you've gotten that nub removed, once you've gotten that nub shaved down and removed, and you start polishing, that's when you can start to go in like any direction really. So now I've got this little nub removed. Again, these little diamond files are really great for when you have tiny little spots that you can't reach with one of these guys. I don't know if I'm gonna bother polishing everything on this kit right now, probably not. But now we can snap this together. And these are snapped in, there's little tabs. Again, camera resolution's a bit of an issue tonight, and I apologize for that. My script is still in beta. But these just snap together. They have like little tabs that connect to each other, and you just press fit them together to snap them into place. And if done right, you shouldn't have any little gaps between them. Sometimes you might still have a little bit of a gap, and if you do, then that just means that you might need to revisit your sanding. I think this is good there. I think this little slot here is supposed to be like that. Yeah, so you just, you know, press them all together. And now we have the lower receiver put together, but we still have more that goes to it. So now we need parts A3 and A4. So we're going to find A3 and we're going to find A4. This is F. Make sure you know how to read English better than I can, even though English was my native language. English sucks. I hate it. It's my native language, and it's my least favorite language. And honestly, I feel like English to me used to not be that bad, right? But I think obviously it's not your native language. Of course, it's not going to be that bad. But Um, I spent a long time trying to become a polyglot. I studied different languages, trying to develop some sort of polylingual tongue, whatever you want to call it. I tried to become a polyglot, by studying a bunch of different languages, and that started off initially because I was playing online video games, and I was in a lot of chat rooms. But I would play like on like European servers for some games, and I started, having a need to be able to talk to players on the European servers. So I started to like learn a bit of Dutch and German and other stuff, and then I thought to myself as I was getting older, like obviously like Japanese is really good for anime stuff. I hate the way this part is set up. You guys can't see it very well because the resolution problem. But this part here is both a nub that was connecting it to the runner, but also one of those little parts that is going to push or connect inside of the other part. It's a connecting part. So you have to be extremely careful not to cut off the connection right there. Because I almost did that just now, and that would have been absolutely horrible to have done on accident. But that's going to connect right into here, and I'm going to sand that little bit there real quick. Where did my diamond file go? I just put it down. What was I saying? Yeah, I tried to become a polyglot, and then like I started learning Japanese for anime. I wouldn't quite say for anime. It was actually because I got really into visual novels in high school, and I got into visual novels because of a specific visual novel and anime, actually. It was the first anime to ever make me cry. When I say cry, I mean like this anime had me bawling my eyes out so badly. It was uncontrollable. It was just uncontrollable tears. And I learned that anime was also a visual novel, and I had then gotten into visual novels. And at the time, we would use something called a text hooker. I think one of the more popular ones was Agatha text hooker, which was actually an acronym. I don't remember what it stood for, but Agatha text hooker was a program that you would use, and anytime you were playing like a Japanese game, especially visual novels, you would run Agatha, and it would hook into the game's code, and it would extract all of the text. As the text was like coming up on your screen, it would extract that text, and then it would copy it to your clipboard, and then you would Control V into like Google Translate, and that'd be how you would like play visual novels back then. And later there was better tools that came out later, like ITH ended up being like a big replacement at one point. I think ITH is still probably the go-to one to use. But like ITH would do that, but you would also have like automatic translation when it would do that. So it was like very, very helpful having the auto translation. And there's even better tools now. There's like way better tools now. But the reason for that is just because a lot of visual novels never get English translations, at least not officially. They might get like a fan translation, but even then there's so many visual novels compared to fans that most visual novels just go completely untranslated. They don't get a patch. At most they might get a forum post or forum discussion, where people have like translated some of the script, but not all the script. And even I myself, like I got into like making translation patches for a good while too. I was making my own translation patches because a lot of the games I wanted to play didn't have translation patches, so I had to make my own. But I learned Japanese, or starting to learn Japanese, because I wanted to be able to play more visual novels and not have to rely on the text hooker to play them. It didn't quite work out because while I can read katakana and I can read hiragana, a lot of visual novels also use kanji, and I never was able to learn kanji because I actually screwed myself over by trying to become a polyglot. And what happened with that is when I was in college, I was studying for business, which I do have a business degree. I was studying for business, so I wanted to, be my own boss one day. I wanted to run my own company, and I tried that at one point, and I utterly failed at running my own company. I think I talked about that the other day. Running a company is hard, but I thought, the best way to do business internationally would be to learn Chinese. Well, Chinese, Mandarin specifically, uses a writing system called pinyin. Well, pinyin is the exact same characters as Japanese kanji, but different meanings and pronunciations. So I started to have problems with that, and that should have been like the first wake-up call, like, hey, wait, don't do this. But then I was dumb and I went even further than that, and I also started trying to learn Cantonese, which also uses the same characters, and I ended up basically screwing myself over now to, if I just see kanji on its own, I have to question myself without any context, at least. I have to question, is it meant to be Cantonese? Is it meant to be pinyin? Or is it meant to be kanji? And that ended up being what screwed me over in terms of learning kanji, and so I never actually was able to play most of my games without a text hooker. I still need to use one. Yeah, but anyways, what I was trying to get at though is the more I studied and tried learning other languages, the more I came to hate English, which is my native language, because English just has so many stupid rules in it, and it never adheres to those rules ever. Is the thing. English is just, it's dumb. Because English will tell you stuff like, I before E, except after C. But then you'll find tons of words that put an I before the E after C. Or you have, all kinds of other stupid rules that are never, properly followed. And it's really annoying. So, yeah, the more I tried to learn other languages, the more I grew to dislike English. Just because there's just a lot of stupidity with English. How does this part connect? Please tell me I didn't screw this part up. Oh, it's gonna be on this side, huh? Does it go like this? Does it show in here? Okay. So the part goes this way. And what you probably should be doing as you're building these little tiny ones is using Tamiya cement to make sure that they do not come apart. But I'm not using any Tamiya cement tonight. So, yeah. Tamiya cement takes forever to cure, and it works by destroying the part, and I don't like to do that. I like to be able to take them apart if I need to. Okay, next is A2. Also, let's make sure we're hydrating. I need to hydrate real quick. Okay, so next is A2, which is right here. Again, these little kits are like super tiny, but they're so detailed, which is what makes them great. Hi, welcome. Nice to see you here. Yeah, I just love how detailed Little Armory gets with their kits. They are some of the best in terms of detail. And like I said, I have some of these other ones, like this one that we built last week. This is an MSG kit, and it's just nowhere near as detailed as you would get with Little Armory. And I have a few others too, like we have Bone Tycoon over here, who has this little shotgun. But again, it's not anywhere near as detailed as the Little Armory kits, so I love them. They're kind of pricey for how tiny they are, but they are so like well made. Your brothers into them, nice. Yeah, they're such a great hobby. They give you something to do, something to relax with, and here we go. This one's gonna be a pain in the ass to sand. Probably actually need tweezers to hold this one in place. I'm not even gonna bother sanding this one or this little part right now. I'll probably sand it later. But A2 is gonna go on top of it, and if you look at it right now, it kind of looks a little bit like a little Stormtrooper E-Web blaster. It's not an E-Web blaster, but it kind of looks like it a little bit. How does this slide into place here? Slides in this way? I put this in the right way, or did I cut the wrong part out? Oh yeah, this is A2. Okay, I think it goes this way. Yeah, into here. Such a any wrecks that are easy and relatively quick and easy to do. Yeah, the MSG ones, these ones here are very easy, and they have the instructions on the back of the card. And you can see here it's only like 2 steps. Super easy to build these ones. Other ones that are really easy if you're into like mecha would be a 30-minute mission. They're like 10 US dollars to about 30 US dollars, so they're super cheap and budget friendly. And they come with just a single runner to cut out, and it's pre-colored. So those ones are like really easy to start off with because they're cheap and they just have a single thing, and it's all pre-colored for you. You don't have to do any painting. Yeah, those are probably like the easiest ones to start off with, would be the MSG and the 30-minute mission stuff. Some of my favorite ones are going to be like the Frame Arms series. Like these ones, but these ones are very complicated to build. So I don't recommend starting with these, but they're like my favorites to build. I think I did the math on it once, because here's one of the bodies from that one, and there's like over 100 parts just in her torso. It took forever to build this torso. I'm not going to take it apart right now. Yeah, the frame arms ones, the waifu ones, are not very beginner friendly, but they're really awesome. But yeah, look for MSG or a 30-minute mission. Those are going to be the cheaper ones and easier ones to build. And yeah, I need to figure out how this thing sits on here. Did I skip a step? I don't think I skipped a step. Like, maybe I'm putting it on wrong. I don't know. Oh, you know what? I think I was. I think I was putting it on wrong. Which way does it go? Ah, there we go. There we go. So I was putting it on wrong. It goes that way. Yeah, this looks like a little Star Wars blaster now. Yeah, see now if you wanted to keep it from popping out like that, you would use the Tamiya cement. But again, the Tamiya cement is destructive, which is why I don't like using it. I don't like using destructive materials unless I'm like absolutely ready to finalize the part. But it'll slide right into here. There's a little slot, little groove that I'm trying to like slide it into. Ah, it's gonna be a pain in the ass. There we go. Have fun. Hope you have a good class. Yeah, hope you have a good class. School is good to be in. I hated school, like most people do. I absolutely hated school, but going back to school and finishing my degree changed my life. So I recommend people to go to school now. I'm gonna just drop that part. It landed in my other little bag. I found it though. I think I'm still putting it on in the wrong direction. I'm not sure. I think I was still putting it in the wrong direction. Oh. Maybe it goes like that? I'm not sure. I think that's wrong. Yeah, these little itty-bitty parts can sometimes be quite a pain to work with. I don't know if I'll ever make it big. I mean, I've been there before, and it's not really as fun as like people think it is being like super big. You know, because back when I was like actively cosplaying, I had an Instagram account, and I think I had like around somewhere between 10 and 12,000 Instagram followers, which I mean, it's really not that much, I suppose, in the grand scheme of things. It's really not, but that's roughly where I was at, was in that like 10 to 12,000 range on Insta. And I don't know, I would have like people come up to me randomly when I'd be like out and about and stuff, and it was nice to get some acknowledgement, but at the same time, there were just a lot of times where I simply didn't want like to deal with people, and I would have to deal with people all the time. And I used to even do streaming back then. I stream, and I would wear different cosplays when streaming. It was fun, but I felt like very much like I had to do whatever the audience wanted. I had to always have a new outfit, had to always like agree to whatever the audience wanted in order to keep the audience, and it wasn't that fun to me. So now I'm kind of, even though I'm not getting the numbers I used to, a lot more relaxed now that I'm just doing stuff for myself and just doing what I want when I want, rather than trying to please everyone. I try to be helpful more than anything, I guess. We're running out of... focus is all messed up. Let's try to get that focus back. Okay. Oh fuck, what's a different part? Now we need F1 and F2 and F6. Okay. So this is F. We need F1, F2, and F6. These are other itty bitty little tiny parts. Also, what time is it? 10:36. I have like 3 meetings tomorrow, I think. being an adult is hard because I want to stream and stuff and I want to stream longer, but at the same time, it's like I need sleep so I can be awake during my meetings at work. I don't have the energy that I used to when I was younger, and I kind of miss it. When I was younger, I felt like I can stay up endlessly, and I could, stay up endlessly and be invincible, not have to give a shit about anything. And nowadays, I'm like, damn, I need coffee in the morning. Well, I don't drink coffee, but like I need tea or some sort of caffeine just to wake up. Body hurts all over. And I have a job where I have to show up to meetings. And it's not like I can escape those meetings. Like, if I was a lower level grunt, maybe I could get away with like not showing up to the meetings. But unfortunately, I climbed up the ladder. And now I'm in a position where I kind of have no choice but to show up to the meeting, because my meetings are often with the CEO himself or other people from the C-suite. So like, it's nice, but at the same time, I just want to go back to not having any responsibilities. That'd be nice too. Because yeah, I want to do more of my hobbies. I want to do more streaming and stuff. It's just I can't be doing these like 5-hour, 6-hour streams like I used to. Not yet, at least. If I do ever make it big, then I suppose. But who knows? Once we start working on some of the other content that's planned. Really, I just need to take some time to just get things situated, set up the channel, set up the YouTube channel properly, because right now it's just VODs, and I need to get some like actual video content on it, not just VODs. Start selling my 3D models, because I think I've reached a point with my 3D models that I can start selling them. I think. In my opinion, I have reached a point with my 3D models where I feel like I can start selling my 3D models and that people would buy them. And that is kind of like, extra motivation to do more. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I've reached that point. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. Could just be like imposter syndrome or something telling me that I haven't. I don't know. But I don't know. I think maybe I've reached that point. My 3D models are starting to get like really good. Now like this anime-ish shading, which I was able to actually make it even better on a test model earlier. So this model doesn't have the final version of the shading style that I've been trying to go for. Instead, a different model has like the final iteration. Well, I wouldn't call it the final iteration, but let's see here. Where's Naruto? Naruto. Where's the different folders? Where'd it go? Here we go. Control C, Control V. And go character. This character was meant to just be an NPC, like just a generic random NPC in the game I'm working on. But like, she came out hot as fuck. But she has the proper shadow style And the shadows actually affect her hair, unlike my main model. The shadows don't affect the hair yet. This model, the shadows affect the hair and whatnot. It just, I don't know, she came out looking a lot better. In terms of getting that visual style to work nicely. And we can actually take the visual style a little bit further too. If I guess let's do this. Yeah, we can actually bring that visual style even further by going to our camera and set this to orthographic, and then we'll set this to like, I don't know, 5. Oh, set to like 2. Oh, a little bit too much there, maybe. Let's try 3. Still a little bit too much. Well, not really. Don't do that, laptop. Please don't do that. No, stop trying to adjust. I don't want to make the window full screen. Why is that not? This was working perfectly fine earlier, and now it's not working because I don't know why. It just doesn't want to work. What the hell? Like, cancel, discard. Oh, there we go. Wait, the background's not transparent though. Background should be transparent. Why is it not? Okay, why is OBS being stupid? Because it should be getting the transparent background and it's not. It's being dumb. Oh, here we go. Yay! Yeah, no, we can, like I said, we can make the visual style even closer to what I was trying to do. Trying to just drag this down a little bit. Yeah, it's supposed to be like a generic character, just a generic NPC in the game I'm working on that ended up going a little bit further. I should probably texture her mouth and stuff. I left her with a lot of like default stuff because I wasn't intending on using her for more than just some mock-ups of stuff, and she ended up getting used for a lot more than just mock-ups, apparently, because she was very helpful in figuring out some stuff. And yeah, so now what I can do is we can have our little light here, and let me try to put her somewhere. Every time I grab a window, my laptop wants to take that window and like try to put it in a like fenced off spot on the screen, and I hate that it does that. I need to figure that out. But now we can, you know, adjust our lighting however we need. Actually, is this light even enabled? It is enabled, right? Enable shadow? I can kind of see the shadow. Oh, does Weirdo maybe handle shadows differently? I can't really see the shadow on this model in here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we got the shadow on the left cheek now, and we can, you know, move the light around. I guess we'll leave the shadow on the left cheek for the time being. It's not quite what I was trying to do, but like, yeah, she actually has proper shadows, and the shadows do affect her hair as well, whereas the other model didn't quite do that. So I'm glad that I was able to figure it out. Also, this lighting is not set properly. I just realized that. Should be the proper light color. Now we can actually see our shadow. Yay! We can see it now. Yeah, getting like the anime-ish shadows was quite a pain to figure out. And what we're doing right now too is we're rendering the model in like a 2D view, so there's no perspective on the model, which is kind of what you want for yeah, OBS is a little silly sometimes, yeah. um, but when you want like a good like 2D feel to your model, you actually want to render the model in 2D projection rather than rendering it in perspective. Because by getting rid of the perspective, you're getting more of that flatness that you would get with anime. Go ahead and move this light a little bit more. There we go. So yeah, what I'm doing right now is I'm rendering the model in a 2D projected view. So you can tell it mostly when like turning the head how the perspective is, because if I switch back to proper perspective, if I turn this off, one, that's gonna go like super far out. Then you can see when like turning the head, there's a lot more perspective shift to it, which can be good for some things, but if you're trying to like mimic that whole like 2D feel, it's more noticeably 3D because it is 3D, right? So like here, you can see on the right hand side, the right ear disappeared, left ear is visible. If I turn my head this way, then the right ear is visible, left ear is not, and so forth. But if I go back to 2D projection and I go back to being zoomed in, then you get both ears somewhat visible at the same time, and the whole like overall perspective doesn't shift as much. You get more of that nice 2D perspective that everyone wants. So yeah, this model was quite a help in testing that, getting that working, getting the shadows to work, properly. One thing that's interesting though about how lighting works with these models is there only needs to be the shadows aren't affected by the strength of the light. So here's what the light off. Oh, my mic is popping. I apologize for that. I need to get a pop filter on here. I can't see where is. Let's see, I need to like figure out. Let's do this. Bring my gain down. Bring gain down. Bring gain down. Alright, is this better? Hopefully. No, I think it's still popping. Still popping a little bit. Oh no. I need to set up voice meter with a limiter at some point. On my desktop, I have a noise gate and a limiter and all that set up. I don't have that set up here on the laptop, so I need to do that at some point. Yeah, one interesting with like how these models work is all they need is some light. So right now the light value is at 0, and the moment I add in a tiny bit of light, this is at 0.07. You can see on the cheek there, the shadow's already rendered. So the shadow doesn't get affected by the strength of the light, just that there is light. And then obviously as you get brighter, once you get to over 100% brightness, this is at like 120? Yeah, it's like 120 brightness. Now the shadow's like gone, but and then following getting it at 1 is where I want it to be, obviously. But yeah, it's kind of interesting how these models work, in that um, due to the way that the shader itself is coded, the shadows are simply there. They don't get affected by how close the light is to them. Just that there is light. Very interesting. If you turn on Naruto's custom shadows, then that's a different story. But I don't like using the custom shadows that Naruto does because they end up kind of going all over the place. Haven't figured out any good settings for Naruto's custom shadows. Yeah, I don't know proper settings for this. So I'm just gonna turn off the custom shadows. But yeah, I don't know. This model was meant to be just a generic character, and now I'm like, damn, I'm gonna have to come up with a whole like story for her or something, because she ended up way cuter than I was planning to make her. And now that I've learned a little bit more about how to do the shadows better through this model, I need to update my main model so that way the shadows work the same. There we go. It's definitely like a nice visual style compared to like the old one. Because here I was using soft shadows, and I don't think there's even any shadow rendered on the face here actually. But I was using more of like softer shadows. But I like the hard edge shadow. The hard edge shadow, it's a nice effect. It's a nice effect to have for that whole 2D look. Okay, we probably should finish this kit, but honestly, I need to get some dinner, and I need to get some sleep, so, we'll finish building this little, gun kit tomorrow. We covered a lot today. A lot of random shit. From trying to fix my tablet unsuccessfully, to debugging a program I wrote to manually focus my webcam, which needs some more work, admittedly, but we're making progress on that program, to getting started on building another model kit, because why not? But yeah, I need some sleep, I need some food, I have 3 meetings tomorrow, I gotta be an adult that's responsible. Yeah, it's crunch time at work right now. The holiday season sucks for work. Yeah, holiday season just sucks for work. But yeah, we'll get around to doing more stuff tomorrow. We'll have an actual plan tomorrow, which is going to be to build this kit. Also because I don't feel like moving my chair and everything back over. So, all right, I'll see you all tomorrow. I'll be awake and on Discord. I'll be on Twitter, and at some point I will get my audio settings dialed in with voice meter here on the laptop. Honestly, doing a laptop setup has been a lot more of a challenge than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, setting up a whole streaming setup with the laptop has been quite a pain to like get everything working, I suppose. Yeah. I'm finding that I'm like getting more and more stuff for the laptop now. So yeah. Okay. Anyways, I will see you all tomorrow. We'll finish off this model kit tomorrow. I'm gonna put it to the side for now, and have a wonderful night. As my model's eyes go all dirt on me.